Okay, so you're thinking about a new laptop, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the ACEMAGIC 15.6-inch FHD, yeah, that one's caught your eye.
It's got some buzz for sure.
You even sent over that TechWise Corner review. Honestly, it looks pretty good, right?
Yeah, they seem pretty impressed.
So that's what we're doing today. Diving deep.
Deep dive into those specs and features. Got to figure out, is this thing the real deal?
Exactly. Will this be the machine that, makes your digital life sing?
Makes it hum, at least.
Right. And we're not just going to, rattle off numbers.
Nope, not just specs.
Got to see how those specs translate to, your everyday life. Like, can you zip through spreadsheets, catch up on those shows?
Or even, do a bit of photo editing.
Yeah, exactly. Light photo editing. TechWise Corner was really into the build quality. They called it.
Robust yet lightweight.
Yeah. And that's a good combo, right? Especially if you're on the go.
Oh, absolutely. If you're lugging a laptop around all day, you don't want some flimsy thing.
No way.
Especially at this price. A solid build. It makes a huge difference. Lasts longer, too.
For sure. And they mentioned that brushed finish. Genius. Keeps those fingerprints away.
Totally. Nobody wants a laptop that looks like, a crime scene.
Right. After like one day.
Exactly.
Keyboard and trackpad, they seem decent. Nothing fancy, but they get the job done.
Yeah. Functional.
But let's get down to it. Let's talk performance. This ACEMAGIC, it's got that quad-core N97 processor.
Yeah.
Which, if you remember, is a big jump from the older N5095 we've seen in some other laptops.
Oh, yeah. Noticeable difference.
Big time.
Especially when you're multitasking.
Right.
Think about it. You've got a presentation open, bunch of tabs for research.
Even Spotify going in the background.
Exactly. The N97 should handle all that, no problem.
Easy.
Smooth sailing.
And get this. It also comes with 16 GB of DDR4 RAM.
16. That's not just good. That's like breathing room.
Right. No more lag. No more frustration.
And with that much RAM, you can have a bunch of apps open, and they'll just run smoothly.
Wow. Like having a...
It's like a super organized desk mentally.
Yeah. Always clean, ready to go. And let's not forget about the 512 GB SSD. That's going to make things fast.
Oh, yeah. Huge difference in how quickly everything responds.
Boot up in seconds. Apps launch like that.
And plenty of storage. All your files, no problem.
It's like this laptop respects your time.
It does. Now, it's not a gaming rig.
Race.
Not a video editing beast. But for most people, that's not a deal breaker, right? It's about that sweet spot. Performance, portability, and price.
And speaking of price, TechWise Corner raved about that full HD display.
Yeah.
Made it sound like colors just jump out at you.
Vivid.
Right. Imagine working on spreadsheets that actually look nice.
And don't underestimate good viewing angles.
True.
Seems like this ACEMAGIC delivers on that. Good for sharing your screen, with colleagues, friends.
Not everyone crowding around, right?
Exactly. And that anti-glare coating they mentioned. Essential.
Yeah, you're staring at a screen for hours.
No one wants eye strain.
Nope.
Especially not after a long day. The review said it's not like a top-tier display, but for the price, it's excellent.
Yeah, punches above its weight, they said.
Nah.
So we've got performance, visuals.
Now let's talk staying connected.
Oh, yeah.
Got to be online.
Crucial.
And it seems like this ACEMAGIC doesn't mess around. You get Wi-Fi 5, so your connection's stable.
And Bluetooth 5.0 for all those accessories.
Seamless pairing.
Easy peasy.
Yeah.
Oh, and check this out. Count them 3 USB 3.2 ports.
No more dongle life.
Freedom.
Yeah.
You can plug in all your stuff, no problem.
And those 3.2 ports, they're fast.
Really?
Oh, yeah, especially if you're transferring big files or backing things up. Yeah.
Good to know. Now, there's one little thing.
One little caveat.
No dedicated HDMI port. But honestly, how often are you plugging into, an external display these days?
Not that often, probably. And even if you need to, it's an easy fix. Adapter. Done. Minor trade-off. Especially for what you're getting with this laptop.
Okay, so you're connected, you're working away, but how long will the battery actually last? This ACEMAGIC has a 5,000 mAh battery. She should get you through a whole workday, according to the review.
Solid battery life. Might not be as long as those super thin...
ultra portable.
Yeah, those ultra portables. But remember, those usually cost a lot more.
True. This ACEMAGIC seems to hit that balance. Portability, performance, and the battery doesn't quit on you.
It's a good mix.
And it's definitely designed with portability in mind. Slim, lightweight.
Throw it in your bag and go.
Exactly.
But, it's worth thinking, What does a full workday actually mean for you? Like if you're always streaming videos or running really demanding software?
You might need to watch that battery a bit closer.
Exactly.
But for the usual stuff, browsing, emails, documents, it should be fine.
Yeah, you'll be good.
Okay, so we've covered the hardware, the looks. Now let's get into the software. The review said the operating system is,
Clean and user-friendly.
yeah, that's the one, which is always a good sign, right?
Oh, absolutely. And from what I've seen with Windows, it's pretty intuitive, easy to use, especially for, everyday stuff.
Makes sense.
Tons of apps and support available too. Good, reliable choice. And the review really emphasized how responsive the whole system is, which is so important.
Oh, yeah, nobody wants a laggy laptop. No.
The worst. And they also talk about a good cooling system. Keeps it from overheating, even when you're pushing it a bit.
Smart. So you get consistent performance. Plus, there's that security suite for peace of mind, and you can customize the power settings
Oh, that's handy.
to tweak, the performance and battery life so you can really make it your own.
It's like they really thought about what users would need.
All right, so far so good. This ACEMAGIC is looking pretty solid. But before we jump to any conclusions, we should probably see how it compares to other laptops in its class, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Because specs on paper are one thing, but we need to see how it stacks up against the competition,
Yeah.
especially for, your specific needs and budget.
That's where it gets interesting. We're going to take a quick pause here, but don't go anywhere. We'll be right back to jump into the wild world of laptop comparisons. Stay tuned.
All right, welcome back. Hope you had a minute to think about what you really need, from your next laptop.
Yeah, because now it's comparison time.
Got to see how this ACEMAGIC stacks up against the competition.
Right, but remember, this isn't about picking a winner.
Nope.
It's about finding the laptop that fits you, your work, your budget, what matters most.
Exactly. So let's say you're mostly going to use this thing for, work stuff, general productivity.
Okay.
One big thing is processing power. How well can it handle, multitasking when you have a bunch of apps open at once?
Makes sense. We know the ACEMAGIC has that quad-core N97. Seems pretty good from the benchmarks, right?
Yeah, solid.
But what if you compare it to a laptop with, say, an older processor, like an 8th gen Intel Core i5?
Interesting. On paper, the Core i5 might seem less powerful, but for everyday stuff, it could still work really well.
Right.
And here's the thing, it might be cheaper.
Yeah, budget's always a factor.
Yeah.
So it's like weighing those trade-offs.
Right. Do you need the absolute newest processor, or is something a bit older, good enough?
Depends what you're doing.
Exactly. Another thing to compare is RAM. ACEMAGIC has 16 GB, which is awesome. Plenty of room to work.
Yeah, like we said, no more lag. But
Yeah.
other laptops in this price range, they might only have 8 GB or 12.
Right. So is that a deal breaker? Well, it depends.
If you're always switching between apps, spreadsheets, presentations, research.
That 16 GB on the ACEMAGIC could be a lifesaver.
Seriously.
But if you don't do that much heavy lifting...
8 or 12 GB might be fine.
Yep. And you could save some money.
True. Let's talk storage. ACEMAGIC has that 512 GB SSD.
Plenty of space for most people.
But some laptops might have,
Yeah.
like a 1 TB SSD, or even a hybrid setup.
Oh, yeah, where they have an SSD for the operating system and the apps you use a lot.
And then a regular hard drive for everything else.
Exactly. Good for if you need a ton of storage, but don't want to spend a fortune.
Makes sense. A bigger SSD, though, that means things load faster. You can access your files quicker.
Speed demon.
So again, it's about what you care about most.
Priorities.
Do you want speed above all else? Or are you okay with, giving up a little bit of that for more storage?
It's your call. Okay, let's move on to the display. The ACEMAGIC has that full HD display, which tech-wise corners seem to like.
Yeah, they were into it.
Good viewing angles, like we talked about.
Nice for sharing. But what if you compare this to a laptop with, like, a 4K screen?
Ooh, now we're talking. 4K is beautiful.
Sharp, right?
Super sharp. Detail is amazing. But there's a trade-off.
Yeah.
They're more expensive, and they eat up your battery faster.
So, gotta ask yourself, do you actually need 4K? For what you're doing, I mean. Or is full HD enough?
Right. If you're mainly working on documents, browsing, watching some videos, full HD might be all you need.
Probably.
Yeah.
And speaking of trade-offs, battery life. That's important.
Crucial. The ACEMAGIC is supposed to last a full work day, which is great. But some laptops, especially those ultra portables,
Yeah.
they might last even longer.
If you're always on the move,
Yeah.
meetings, coffee shops.
That extra battery life can be a game changer.
It really comes down to how you use it.
Right.
Real-world usage.
Exactly. Size and weight, too. The ACEMAGIC is pretty portable, but there are even smaller, lighter laptops.
If that's your top priority.
You might give up a little screen space or processing power to get that super slim design.
It's all about balance.
Finding what works for you. Okay,
Yeah.
and let's not forget connectivity. ACEMAGIC has those 3 USB 3.2 ports.
No dongles.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have an HDMI port.
Right. TechWise Corner didn't make a big deal about that.
But for some people, it matters.
If you're always plugging into a monitor or a projector,
Yeah,
it's something to think about.
definitely.
Adapters are easy to find, but still. Some laptops have more ports, Thunderbolt, SD card readers, even Ethernet if you need a wired connection.
So think about your peripherals, how you're actually going to use this thing.
Do you need all the ports? Or are you good with an adapter once in a while?
Okay, last but not least, software. ACEMAGIC runs Windows.
Solid choice. Works for most people. But you might see laptops that use Chrome OS or Mac OS.
Right.
Each one has its own, quirks, strengths. Chrome OS is simple, good for browsing, emails, basic stuff.
Okay.
Mac OS is popular with creative types, integrates really well with Apple stuff.
Yeah. And Windows is sort of in the middle.
Kind of, yeah. Good balance of features, compatibility, tons of apps.
So it's personal preference, really,
Yeah.
and what you're going to use it for.
Right. Powerful machine for video editing, graphic design, or mostly web browsing, office work.
Different tools for different jobs.
Exactly. And don't forget about pre-installed software. Some companies, they load up their laptops with bloatware, apps you don't want that slow things down.
Oh, yeah.
So do a little research, see what comes with the laptop, and if you can uninstall that stuff easily.
Good tip. We've covered a lot here, comparing all these different aspects, weighing those trade-offs.
It can get complicated, but there's another layer to this. Stuff that goes beyond the specs and features.
Oh, like what?
Things like brand reputation, customer support,
Oh, okay.
the overall experience, that can make a big difference in how happy you are with the laptop.
That's true. Some brands, they're known for making things that last.
Reliable.
Yeah. Others, not so much.
Right. And their customer service might be terrible.
So do your research. Read reviews. See what other people are saying.
Because a laptop is an investment.
It is.
You want to make sure the company's got your back.
Makes sense. And don't forget about trying things out in person.
Oh, yeah, if you can.
Go to a store, get a feel for the keyboard, the trackpad, see how the display looks.
Hands-on experience is valuable. It can either confirm what you thought.
Or maybe change your mind completely.
Exactly. Okay, so we've given you a framework for comparing laptops. But how do you actually make a decision?
Right. How do you put it all together?
Good question. It's about prioritizing. Finding the laptop that fits those priorities the best. Let's break it down.
Okay.
First, figure out your budget. How much can you spend?
That'll narrow things down right away.
Right. Don't fall in love with a laptop that's way too expensive. Then make a list of must-haves.
The non-negotiables.
Exactly. Screen size, processor, RAM.
What do you absolutely need?
Then think about your preferences. Things that are important, but not deal breakers.
Like battery life, weight, ports.
Yep. Even the color, if that matters to you.
Then start researching. Look for laptops that fit your budget and have those must-haves.
Use what we've talked about to compare them.
Processor, RAM, storage, display, all that stuff.
Read those reviews, check the ratings.
And pay attention to the brand's reputation, their customer service.
As you learn more, start narrowing it down. Make a short list of the best ones.
The top contenders.
And if you can, go try them out in person. That can really help you decide.
Or, like you said, totally change your mind.
Happens all the time. Remember, there's no one best laptop for everyone.
Right.
The best one for you is the one that fits you, your needs, and that makes you happy.
Makes sense. And if you're feeling lost, don't be afraid to ask for help.
Talk to a friend who knows about tech. Go to a store.
Or even contact the company directly.
Your customer support, they can answer your questions, give you some guidance.
We've covered a lot in this deep dive, from specs to comparisons to figuring out how to choose.
A lot of information.
Yeah.
But there's one last piece, something we haven't really talked about.
What's that?
It's that feeling you get.
Feeling.
Yeah. When you hold a laptop and you just know.
Know it's the right one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like a spark. Excitement, like you can't wait to start using it.
I know what you mean.
And that feeling, that's important.
So, as you're searching, remember to listen to your head. But listen to your heart, too.
Trust your gut. Don't settle until you find that laptop that makes you say, this is it.
Love it. And once you do, let us know.
Tell us what you chose, what made you decide, and what you're excited to do with it.
Until then, happy laptop hunting. We'll be right back after a short break. Okay, so we're back, and hopefully you've got like a short list now. Some laptops that you're really considering.
Time to make that final decision.
It's decision time. You've done all the research, compared the specs, maybe even just, tried a few out in person.
Now it's all about that gut feeling.
Remember that TechWise Corner review?
Yeah.
They said the ACEMAGIC was kind of like the sweet spot, right? Good performance for everyday stuff, nice display, decent battery, and the price is right.
They were pretty clear that it's not for like hardcore gaming or video editing, though.
Right. So, gotta be honest with yourself. Is that okay?
Yep.
I mean, will it do what you need it to do?
That's the big question.
If the answer is yes, that's awesome. But let's dig a bit deeper, What really stood out to you about this ACEMAGIC?
Was it that big 512 GB SSD, finally enough space for all your stuff?
Maybe it was the operating system. They said it was. Like, clean and user-friendly.
Easy to use, right out of the box.
Whatever it was, think about that. That feeling you got. That's your intuition talking, telling you what really matters to you.
Okay, here's a little thought experiment. Imagine this ACEMAGIC is right there in front of you.
Ooh, I like this.
How do you feel?
Excited, ready to, dive in and start using it.
Or is there a little bit of hesitation?
Yeah, like a little voice saying, maybe there's something better out there.
If you feel that, that's okay. It just means you might need to, look around some more.
Or really think about what you need from a laptop.
Exactly. It's not about rushing. It's about finding that perfect digital companion, you know? Something that fits your life.
Something that helps you work, be creative.
Yeah, enhance your everyday life.
And remember, at the end of the day, the decision is yours.
Nobody else's.
What feels right? What gets you excited? What laptop will help you do the things you love?
That's what matters.
So we're sending you off on this adventure to find your perfect laptop, armed with all this knowledge and hopefully a better sense of, what you really want.
Trust your gut. Don't settle. Explore those options.
And when you find the one,
let us know. We want to hear all about it.
What did you choose? What made you decide? And what are you most excited to do with it?
Until then, happy computing.
And that's a wrap on our deep dive. We hope you found this helpful and that you're feeling more confident about your next laptop purchase. We'll catch you in the next episode where we'll be tackling another tech topic. Thanks for listening.